Invisible stitch with your sewing machine step by step. The thing is that the other day in my last video I made 3 different hemlines for different things, and one of them didn't quite I didn't explain it right, or people didn't understand it as much, so I'm going to explain it again step by step with different angles so you can see it better. And the hemline I'm talking about is the one I did for my friend's trousers. Thank goodness I haven't returned them just yet, so I can film this again. They look really nice, they look really pretty, you cannot see anything at all, and it's really useful to do it with your machine. There's 2 different stitches you can use for this. I've used them before, not that much, because I usually just make a double hem and that's it. But for example, for this jumpsuit, I made a jumpsuit like a sort of 80s jumpsuit style, which was, it looks really nice with the pleats on the shoulders, and the hemline looks really pretty. You cannot even see anything, and after you finish, after you've pressed it, it's invisible. So it's really good because you don't have to spend a whole lot of time working by hand, so it's good. I'm not really good at sewing by hand, I must admit that. I have no problem admitting it. And this kind of folding, I've done it before with t-shirts a lot, to make like this sort of fake cuff style, and it looks really nice because it looks like you've added like a bias tape on top. And even though it's the same movement with your fingers, then I finish it with a zigzag stitch, and that way you can see like the hem from the outside. It's not invisible, it is visible, but the movement with your fingers is just the same, so it's useful to know how to do it. With any kind of hobby, you learn things every single day, and with sewing it's just the same. So if you like this kind of content, consider subscribing, I would really appreciate it. And that way you don't miss anything, because I upload twice a week. We learn things, we do things one way, we do things the other way. We even film videos a second time in case you don't understand it, or if I do something wrong. So consider subscribing, and I'll leave you here my Instagram account as well, in case you want to have a look to everyday life. And for you to understand it nicely, I'm going to use a piece of scrap I have. I made cushions with it. It looks like suede, it's not, but it looks like it. So this is the right side, and then the darker side is the wrong side. I think it's understandable. And then, yes, we'll do it with a pair of trousers as well. So I'm going to start working with my fabric on the wrong side, because it's what you would normally do, even though we're going to do it both ways. I'm going to start on the wrong side, but then we're going to explain it on the right side to see the different ways to do it, because some people prefer doing things some way and other people the other way. So let's do it both so everyone is included. But first, the wrong side. When we fold once, it's because we're going to make a simple hem, because we don't need overlocking or anything like that, because there's no need, it's not going to fray. And if we fold again, it's a double hem, but that's what we're not going to do. We're going to leave it in a simple hem and then fold back to the right side. Instead of folding in again to the wrong side, we're folding back. Like when we used to do little fans with paper at school when we were little, things like that. So we're going to leave it like this with a bit of fabric on the outside, and that's where we're going to be sewing, on that side. So I have the one on the wrong side ready. Let's do it on the right side so you can see it as well. So the first method I can think of is to use your hands as little claws. So we're going to make this movement. We're going to pinch our fabric and make like a little wave in the middle. So, am I recording? So we can fold it and we can get the same effect. In a minute you have it, in a second really. And if the little claw tip doesn't convince you, what you can do is to just hold your fabric and make a little fold, right sides together, and then come back on the wrong side. And that way you come back on the fold you just did, and that way you have it done. So this is how it looks. So now what you have to do is sort of stretch it a little bit so it doesn't remain folded, and you can make it flat, and that way you can press it. Once you press it, it's going to look amazing, of course protecting the right side. And if you imagine this is the hem of your skirt, you don't see anything. Maybe if you come really close, you can see one or two stitches, but the same as you would if it were sewn by hand. I think it's really good. It's a really good result, and it's quite easy to achieve. So let's do it on the pair of trousers now. I was saying this is a pair of trousers like joggers, my husband's. I have a plan for them, but they have cuffs. I don't need them, so let's cut them. It doesn't matter. It's just to show you how. Haven't got anything else right now. And because this has two legs, thank goodness, we can make it both ways at the same time. On one leg I'm going to do it on the wrong side, on the other one on the right side. At the same time, same method. And starting with the one on the wrong side, we're going to do the same. We're going to fold once, and then instead of folding a second time the same way, we're going to fold back to the right side, and that way we have our place to sew. And with the one that is on the right side, we're going to do the same. We're going to fold back inwards with our little claws, and then fold back to the right side on top of it, and that way you have it done. And I'm going to start sewing, but with the other stitch. That way you know you can do it with both, and you can see the differences, even though there's not much. And this is how it looks. This is a pair of joggers, so it doesn't really need any pressing. And I think this is such a clever way to use your sewing machine, and you save loads of time. You do it so quickly. So let me know down in the comments what you thought, if you like this idea. And don't forget to subscribe, and I'll leave you here a link to other stitches I have in my sewing machine, and as well as the one I did this week, the 3 different hemlines, so you can have a look. Bye!